Awesome. All right, so now you understand sort of the core foundational concept behind having the right motivations. So like, whether you're a high achiever, a hard driver, determined, crushing it, going out there, doing what you really, really are passionate about, that's phenomenal. But it's really important that you understand why you're doing that. What are like the internal mindset shifts and the internal motivations that actually bring you to that exterior viewpoint, that exterior image. And so hopefully now you can understand the core foundation of making sure that this is a positive mindset, a positive interior, not something fueled by negativity, right? Something that's fueled by this positive mental emotions, because that positivity manifests itself in positive results that are sustained and that last and that don't fade away. Like, that's bad stuff. Now what Ecker does, he kind of talks about a lot of people who are sort of proving themselves, and what he realizes is that no amount of money can ever ease the pain of an inner wound, and no amount of money can make everything and everyone in life right. Like, there's always going to be this not enough if you don't have that internal fulfillment. And that's sort of the big shift, because it's all about you, right? And so your inner world reflects your outer world, and that's a really big theme you're going to see a lot in this book. Is your inner world reflects your outer world, and your outer world reflects your inner world. And if you believe that you are enough, you will validate that belief and create the reality that you have enough. And that's it, right? All you have to do is believe that you have plenty, and that belief turns into validation. And that's sort of the keys. Once you have this validation, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where this belief actually turns into money, and then that money turns into more validation, and that validation turns into more money, right? And as soon as you do that, you can sort of dissociate anger, fear, negativity, or proving yourself, and install new links, right? And these new links can be really, really positive intentions. This can be stuff like purpose, right? You can start to develop a purpose. You can start to develop contribution to others, contribution to the world around you, and most significantly, personal joy, right? These are really, really phenomenal ways to sort of work towards yourself, and also never really have to worry about money to be happy, because this comes from you, from your own links. These are links, but in reality, all they are internal emotions. And so all you have to do is kind of master creating these emotions, and you'll get sort of that end result pretty much automatically once you follow just the simple framework of not going out and wasting all your money. You're going out and taking that giant vacation or wasting a bunch on a house that's going to be a depreciating asset, and instead investing it towards things that you're actually passionate about, things that will actually have a really, really big impact on your life. And instead of trying to be a rebel or the opposite or of others, what you really sort of have to do is shift into this mindset that you want to do good things, and you want to become successful for your own financial reasons, so that you can have your own fulfillment. You want to sort of stop focusing on what other people think about you. Stop focusing on how you're perceived by maybe your friend group or your peers or family, and instead just think about why should I get this result that I want? And once you understand why, what makes logical sense, what's the next, sorry, I don't really want it to show the thing, so we'll do that again. What makes logical sense, and what's the next thing that makes sense to do to actually get this result that I want? And then you just sort of work through it, knowing at your core that you have the right base, you have sort of the right idea behind what you're doing, and you can recognize your way of being and how it relates to not only those around you, but more importantly, your understanding of your own way of money. And so to do that, the steps for change shift from modeling, it's the same as what you've been doing. You want to be aware of the beings and the habits that your parents had, or that those around you had, relating to money and wealth. You want to write down these habits, understand what these habits are, and how you may be identical, maybe opposite to them. So sort of what are the habits that you've seen, and then do you actually reflect those or not? And then understand the effect that this habit, this mood has on your financial life, and understand, go through this exercise, make a list, right? What are the habits you've seen? How do you see them in yourself? How does this actually affect you? And then you want to kind of do the dissociation exercise that I talked about earlier. So this is where you want to dissociate and understand that this way of being is only what you learned, and it isn't you. And you can step back and pull away And you have a choice to be in the present. You have a choice in this moment to be different. You have a choice to do your own thing, and really make the shift. So go through this exercise right now, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna list out all these habits that we've seen, and how they're actually manifested in you, and then sort of the real effect that it has, and the dissociation and that you have from yourself, right? You want to step away, and then once you do that for each of them, you want to, place your hand over your heart and say, what I modeled around money was their way, and I choose my way. Like this false belief that you have to argue all the time is not true. You don't have to argue about money. You can be happy with it. You don't have to make any, you should constantly be joyous and only use it as a multiplier of yourself, instead of thinking of it as a negative. It's only positive. And hand on your head, say, I have a millionaire mind, over and over and over again. You should have probably said, I have a millionaire mind at least like 10, 15, 30 times right now. And you'll continue to do it through this. And those declarations, again, like we talked about earlier, are really gonna be the powerful mindset shift that are gonna get you a bulk of the results, which is super, super cool. So that's sort of the end of, changing modeling, which is really, really, really powerful. So now next step is to go through this exercise, follow the steps, and really, really sort of erase some of these latent internal mindsets and beliefs and actions and habits about money, and instead think about what it makes sense to replace them with, the positive equivalent that it makes sense to replace them with. And then once you have the positive equivalent, you want to really declare that you're going to make that positive equivalent your own reality. You're going to make that positive equivalent the actual method that you're going to use for the rest of your life, right? That's the big shift here. So thank you guys so much for watching this module. We get a ton of value from it. Now it's time to apply it, absolutely crush it, and I will see you in the next module. Thank you. Bye.